this your son?
Yeah. You're kidding me! What? I was a foreign boy who would take her to be my wife. What is up, everybody? I am Legend, and in today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different and react to what I believe were manic episodes and depressive episodes that I've captured on camera over the course of the last 15 years. So this first video that I want to watch is going to be from my second hospitalization that I've ever had. And looking back, I think this may have been more than just like an asthma attack. I do think that this could have been a manic episode. So let's watch it.
Okay, folks, in the ER room here, Enzo's been here since like 5:15 or so this morning. I got here about 7. He's chilling. He just went to sleep. I guess they're going to admit him.
So this is interesting. This is the first thing that's kind of popping out to me is that I was admitted to the hospital because they couldn't get my heart rate down.
Heart rate is kind of went through the roof for a minute.
Yeah.
165. Yeah, we just kind of got this video footage going because you know Enzo, he probably going to make a music video about it or something.
or a YouTube video. But I specifically remember this day, I was scared out of my mind because they had an IV in one of my arms to pump in whatever, the saline, I guess, to get my heart rate to slow down. It wasn't working. Then they put an IV in the other arm to get a second set of medication going into me. And even that didn't work. So I had 2 IVs coming out of both of my arms. My heart rate was as high as about 200 beats per minute. And I remember laying on this gurney right here, and nobody would tell me what was going on. Basically, there was like this crowd of doctors that surrounded my bed, and they were all just looking up like this. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, I was starting to panic myself because everyone was looking so worried around me. I saw somebody say, go get the crash cart. The crash cart is basically, with the paddles on there. So they thought that my heart was going to fail. That's how fast it was beating at the time. But I've read on many different websites that bipolar mood episodes, mania, and depression can also be followed with a shortness of breath or a rapid heart rate. That's what I feel this was, because there was no, after the medication, after the inhaler was taken, there was no shortness of breath. It was literally just my heart rate would not stop.
Did a CAT scan, possible blood clot, but they don't think so. They're going to do another one here shortly.
The doctors discharged me, right? And this was after 3 days of not being able to get my heart rate down. The main doctor came in and told me, he's like, listen, we don't know what caused this. Your breathing has been fine for the last 3 days, but your heart rate was just out of control. We don't know why, but you're fine now. You can go home. Like, I was just very confused because it was never explained why I was in the hospital with such a high heart rate for such a long time. At least to me, it felt like a long time. It was about 3 or 4 days. Now, I'm going to fast forward a couple of years, and this was in 2016. This was after I went through a breakup, so I was really hurt. And this sent me into what I know now as a long, drawn-out depressive episode. This is where it starts setting in. This is where it starts setting in. But it was not long after the breakup, right? And I was just gone in this alcoholic binge. And this is where those feelings really started to set in. Like, I just lost, at the time, the love of my life. I'm not good enough. I wasn't good enough to make this last. I was too much for the person. I was too attached to the person. You start to think these different kinds of ways, and everything that they've said about you or other people have said about you, you start to let it get to you in your head and question, are they right? And that's when my best friend Faith noticed this dude's not okay. I was able to stay the night over there because obviously I couldn't drive. But that's where this is taking place right now. I was laying down on this couch, actually. This is the very couch that I was laying on in this clip.
Who's gonna come in? Simon?
Yeah, I drank it already.
Did you sleep with him? Did you?
Don't touch me.
Yes or
Jacob,
no?
don't touch
Did
me.
you sleep with him? Yes or no? Did you?
Jacob, don't.
Jacob, don't what? Did you? Yes or no?
So that sent me spiraling. Obviously, this was the first section of that spiraling, and it lasted for quite some time. Not long after that, about 6 months later, I know now that I was probably manic back then. I probably swung out of that depressive episode, and I immediately took all the savings that I had that I was going to spend on this relationship, and I blew it all on recording equipment. So this desk that you see here, my old keyboard back there, these Rocket speakers that you see here, all of my studio equipment. I had a MacBook that I bought at the time. I bought an external hard drive. I bought like $8,000 worth of stuff. I blew through my entire savings because it was just the impulse. Also, an entire 2-month trip to Europe with no plans, right? I flew to Romania. I didn't know where I was going to go next. I didn't know where I was going to stay. It was very impulsive, and that's why, looking back, I feel like this was another manic episode, and you'll see.
Kiss. Gotta go see the missus.
Gotta go see the missus. Who's the missus, huh? 6 months after your breakup with your fiance? The missus? I got into a relationship. Like, I thought out the relationship before I got into it. I made sure that this person felt a way about me to make sure that I wouldn't have the same mistakes that I had in my previous relationship. But you could definitely say that even though it was thought out, it was still like an impulsive jump in. I think it was in this trip that I proposed to them.
This drink right here, a Romanian drink called
Palinka.
Palinka. You think I can chug this? It's been like 5 minutes. Is the camera on? I wonder what is this focus? Look, the pigeon's eating his toes. Why is this pigeon staring at me? Are you eyeballing me, bro?
Bro, he's delusional. Is this pigeon staring at me? Am I delusional?
Am I still recording?
Oh shoot! Hello.
Where you from?
Holland. China. You have to make a picture.
This right here is where this trip goes off the rails.
Are you Enzo?
I'm Enzo.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
His name is Enzo too. Two Enzos.
Two Enzos.
That's gotta be like
A white one and a black
collapse
one.
of the. She's laughing.
She's laughing.
Like they're both laughing. They're smoking. They're smoking. Do you mind?
You have a very nice voice. Yeah.
You heard?
Plug it in.
Are you serious? Are you plugging in my phone?
Yeah.
You're not serious. You're not serious.
This is okay. This is Airbnb. Airbnb. So that's it.
R&B.
R&B.
Yeah.
This dude said, it's okay. It's Airbnb.
Is this your song?
Yeah. You're not. You're kidding me. What? Enzo, what are you doing? They're playing my music. I was a foreign boy who would take her to be my wife.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I was just feeding into everything that these people were giving me. You know what I mean? Like calling me Usher and stuff like it was going to my head.
Freaking bar I've never been to before.
Also, you're Usher.
They want my autograph, right? I'm here. I'm here. Them? This one. Nah. I gotta stay faithful, man.
A lot of drinking, but there was still a lot of impulsive decisions and a lot less sleep during this time. But it was at the end of this night, people that I was talking to, I guess they got tired of me because I kept on talking. This is another thing. Pressured speech, where you talk so much, people can't get a word in. Got these flight of ideas. You have to say everything that you're thinking. I definitely was in that space. I remember at the time, the people said that they were going to go to the bathroom. And they didn't go to the bathroom. They ended up leaving the club, and I was there by myself alone, even though they were the ones that told me, hey, come with us. Come with us out drinking, bro. Turns out they didn't want to hang with me after all because I talked too much. So that's another sign that to me this was probably a manic episode because I would not stop talking. And so they left me alone. I felt abandoned, which is something that I have struggled with. I've always had a problem with abandonment and feeling like people are leaving me. Wasn't romantically. This was like the first time that I felt this around just regular people. And these were total strangers that I just met. So they abandoned me. And I'm like, well, am I not good enough? Is there something wrong with me that people don't want to hang around with me? What's the kicker here? Like, what am I missing? So feeling like I was abandoned once again, 3 times, 3 instances of an abandonment in one night. I went back to the hostel. I went to the bathroom and I fell on the floor and I just bawled my eyes out in tears. So let's fast forward.
All right. So it is Cyber Monday, which means, it is Cyber Monday.
So mad, so irritated. Look at this. Tapping the desk, that's like one of my little coping.
So it's Cyber Monday.
That was an angry clap.
You know, my RAM is full.
My RAM is full.
It's fully loaded.
AKA, I can't process any of this.
I don't want to deny myself. The whole reason I express myself and make these videos where I'm vulnerable is not to garner attention. It's just to show up. Just to show up.
That was hard.
Because I'm tired of
Just to show up, man. It was hard for me to show up. That's
feeling, and this is my own doing, but feeling isolated. I'm very excited to see my girlfriend.
me in the old whip.
As much as I know I've been probably bugging her, you know, these freaking things I'm working on, and I'm excited for experience.
See, even there, I was aware of the fact that I could be irritable with her, and I could be displaying some of these symptoms without knowing myself until she would explain to me later on, hey, you were kind of snappy today, or hey, you seemed down today, or hey, you seem upbeat, really upbeat today. In retrospect, even in the moment when I was talking about it, I was realizing like, yeah, maybe I have been difficult at some times, and that starts to make me think about the other relationships that I had. And was I difficult with those people as well? Is that why they left me? It's where that awareness starts to set in, where that thought process starts to set in, like maybe you do have this, and I need to own up to some of this stuff.
I wrote a song last week.
This one.
In the middle of a manic episode.
My first video about psychosis.
I had no idea I was having the episode until my psychiatrist brought it up. And throughout all this, I'm dealing with things that are weird for me to say out loud.
Very weird. And here's the...
So you see this back here.
The reveal. The first time I've ever shown
this curtain.
Anybody this.
It's a blanket, actually.
It's a double layered sheet that I folded in half so it's really blocking out the sunlight. And then in front of that, I put this big poster and a pillow to further block anything from seeing into my room or me seeing out of my room. The purpose of this was not to block out the sun. The purpose of this was to remain oblivious to what's outside, and for people that are outside to remain oblivious to what's going on in my room. And it's not just a privacy thing. It was more so about, what am I going to see when I look outside of this window? Am I going to see somebody staring up into my room, spying on me, listening to my phone calls, or tracking my every move as I'm leaving the house or coming home? That's what I was worried about. And I didn't want to mention it at the time because I was really ashamed, but that's what I was going through at this time. Delusions of just being spied on, people out to harm me, people out to get me. Delusions that people were following me everywhere that I went. I had delusions that people were installing cameras into my car and watching my every move and where I would go. And they were active. They weren't just like passing thoughts, but I was literally driving evasively some days to get away from cars that I thought were following me.
I feel like I've been facing the biggest creative slump that I have ever faced in my life.
The biggest.
And I'm not saying this for any pity points or anything like that. I just don't know what else to do, because every time I try to make a beat, I'll start it and then it doesn't go anywhere. And this is one of the things that, you know, I feared when starting medication. Is it going to take away the thing that's mattered most to me?
This is one of the biggest reasons why I didn't want to start medication. Having seen what Kanye West has gone through, and countless other people have gone through, but Kanye's been the most vocal, and he's also the person that inspires me the most. and he also has bipolar disorder. And seeing what he's had to deal with when taking medication and how he comes out and says like it messes up his creativity and things like that, I start to think to myself, like, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to take medication. I still want my creativity. I still want to be able to have these crazy ideas and to be able to have this ideas that don't stop coming to me. They keep flying in, you know, the flight of ideas. Since I was used to it, I'm like, well, if I take medication, I'm going to become someone that I never have been before. I've never been medicated before. So what am I to expect when I start a medication that's supposed to stabilize my mood? What does my mood stabilized even mean? What does that even look like? I had no idea because it's never been stabilized. And it was the fear of that unknown that got to me the most. After a while, I became willing to try. I knew that at some point, especially finding this out, this was after my diagnosis, that now that I know what's going on with me, I have the responsibility of taking care of it. I am responsible for making sure that I keep this stuff in check, or that I do everything that's within my power to make sure that I don't have a crazy manic episode where I'm doing things that I'm going to regret, that I don't end up in another strip club where my passport is almost stolen and I'm stuck in a country with no way out because I only bought, you know, a ticket that's 2 months apart and now I can't even get out the country, you know? If that's not mania, then maybe I'm just so you start to question yourself, you know, naturally. It's not easy to admit, seeing how reckless, that's really the only way that I can describe it. It's not reckless in the sense that I'm like ruining people's lives because I didn't. It was reckless in the sense that I was ruining my own because I wasn't thinking through my decisions. I was just going with whatever was on my mind at the time. Let's go with it, buddy. I'm all in, head first. Boom. I like this person. I want to marry him. Boom. It's sealed.
So I don't know what the point of this video is and what it's supposed to serve. I wanted to make a little diary entry, I guess.
I know what it's supposed to serve. It's supposed to serve for this very moment right now. Because I didn't post this video, but I was meant to see it at some point in the future. I'm sending courage out there to anybody who's dealing with this same kind of journey, whether you have been diagnosed or not. I wish you well, and I hope you found this video to be helpful and useful for your journey, or just to better understand what bipolar disorder is and have a better understanding of those around you who may be dealing with this mental health chronic condition. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. You'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video. I love you guys, and as always, stay legendary.